we go. Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to Creative Wisdom Wednesday. I am your one of your co-hosts, Mama Evelyn, and we have Mama Hetheru and Queen Aduni. And we have here our guest, Stef N Ty, the Mad Hatters. These people, I have admired you and from the moment I met you, admired you and just loved your hats, even though I really don't wear hats, but I you know what? I'm gonna buy one because I just need to have a Stef N Ty hat. I really do. Um, so okay, we have Reverend Grace, Almighty Grace joining us, and we're gonna have other people like coming in, hopefully. Okay. And I sent you an email with some questions. And we're not really going to go through the list, but anyone who has questions, because I know for a fact that what stands out to me is so organized you guys are. I mean, when I first met you, it was my friend Deborah Love, and it was at a pop-up at your studio at the Iron Lofts.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they were having like a
and I came in and I said, "Where's all this stuff?" I said, "Whoa, this is a small place, but they are so nice." I spend my time moving stuff around, and I just wanted to know, how do I stay so organized?
Well, I think it's because we've moved a lot. We have moved a lot over the years. Just like around the US and different locations and stuff. And sometimes you're in a space where you have lots of room to work, and then you're in a space when you got like this much room to work. So you have to, so sometimes you gotta make it work, and that's it kind of keeps me, organization kind of keeps me from going crazy, you know. I don't like to waste a lot of time trying to find stuff, even though I still do, believe me. Sometimes you still be like, okay, well, I had this, and you can't figure out where you put it. But if you have like just some basic, compartmentalization of stuff, then it cuts down on how much time you waste, looking for stuff. And also because we always work with other people. I've always had like either somebody that's helping me sewing, or somebody that's learning to sew, or other people that are in my space from time to time. And so then if you're trying to work with them and you don't know where nothing is, they certainly don't know where nothing is.
Right.
So, you don't want to waste their time saying, okay, well, I'm going to teach you how to make this, but I can't find the zippers. And, you kind of have to you have to kind of get around stuff up and get stuff organized together.
Yeah, well, I seem to have been, it's taken me like 3 or 4 years because I live with my daughter now. So most of my stuff is here, and I have organized. I've finally gotten the garage organized to the point where all I have to do is label things, and I do know where everything is because I do making tapes. So it's important for me to keep things organized so I know where everything is, and when I do a make and take, I can put things together. So yes, and you guys started out, I believe I remember you made clothes. You started out making clothes.
Yeah.
Having fashion shows. I remember seeing those pictures. How did that begin? How did you two meet, for one thing? I want to know that.
Well, I'm gonna let Ty. You want to talk? Oh, okay. Well, we met on the subway in DC. I at the time that we met, I was working for a spa in Bethesda. Because I learned how to sew very early from my great grandmother. I grew up in a dressmaker's house. She was a dressmaker. So, so I've known about sewing from little, because my job before I went to school in grade school was to thread all the needles for her. So can do her hand sewing because she did everything by hand. You know, there was a sewing machine in the house, but she didn't really use it. She did everything by hand. And so I learned how to sew early. So I had already had a business in my early 20s, sewing and doing alterations and dressmaking for people and stuff like that. And I had gotten really, really frustrated with it. It was kind of hard, and I was young and trying to make money and, I was in a small town and it wasn't really working that well. And so I kind of gave it up and I went to work, got a real job working, working for somebody else. Like my mom used to say, when are you gonna get a real job? I would get my real job working for someone else in Bethesda. And by the time I met Ty, he had a business too. He had a business doing shoe repair and shoe shine in the Bethesda metro station. They had like he had like a consignment kiosk there. But we used to travel on the same train because where I worked was down the street from where his business was. So, you doing your commuting, you see certain people all the time on the train. And he was one of the people that I used to see on a regular, going back and forth on the train. And so, I guess one day we started talking, and then, we got next day he invited me to lunch. We had, I went up and met him at lunch, but that's because it was like right up the street from me. We used to have lunch together and stuff and chit chat. And then we just got to be really good friends. And then it just went from there. So I think, that was a good way of starting getting to know him, was because of being, becoming friends by traveling back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you all, the two of you, travel all over because you met moving.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I never
When
thought
y'all
about
got
that.
together,
Yeah.
you thought we got to go. It's time to
I
go.
know.
Oh, it's moving. I see you. Time to go. Let's go. Now let's go together all the time.
That's true. I never thought about it like that, but that's true. That's what happens when you meet on the train, huh?
Right.
I got right into asking the questions and forgot to do a reading. So can we pause and do a reading? Because we usually like to set an intention in the morning.
Yeah.
So I am reading from these cards I got when I did my first in-person meeting with the listening partners. And this deck of cards was on one of those pillars over there by the DeQuinder cut. And it was just sitting there when we left. I said, oh, this is magical. It was just magical. So it's called the Soul Truth Self-Awareness Card Deck by Brian Harvey. So they're really too big for me to, do the regular shuffle. So I'm just going to spread them out here, close my eyes, see where spirit leads. Let's see. Okay. Where am I with my health goals? Where do I want to be? Why am I not there? What will it take for me to feel well? This is talking to me today, guys. It really is. If my body could talk, what would it say? It would tell me to get going, girl, and stop playing around. That's what it would say. Today's soul action is feed your body what it needs to feel nourished, appreciated, and loved. Make some new, exciting goals to take your health to the next level. Yep.
Yep. And that's actually part of the reason why we're here, in Mexico. Because we needed to be somewhere that was better for our health. I don't know if before we left, we had Ty had a heart attack scare. He was in the hospital for 3 days. Because he was, pretty much about to have a heart attack. And so, and I have osteoarthritis real bad, which everybody probably knows because I'm always walking crazy. But so the cold has been really hard on my joints, and we didn't want to do the traditional thing, which is like move to Florida, or move down south somewhere, because there's not really anything happening there, and we always wanted to travel, not just in the country but outside of the country, And so we started researching Mexico because it's warm, it has better quality of food. There's less stress. There's there's better medical treatment here than we had in the U.S. And it gave us a chance to visit another country, but we weren't so far away that we couldn't get back because we still have grandkids in the U.S. and Ty's mom and his sisters in Texas, so we could still get back and forth. It wasn't like going across the ocean somewhere where it would take 20 hours on a plane to get back. So it's a really like from Texas, it's like an hour and a half flight. It's not far at all. So yeah. So this gave us an opportunity to do things for our health, because we're not getting any younger, and you got to start thinking about what is it that's causing the issues that you may be having physically, and what is it that you can do to take care of that, to kind of help, that situation. Just like since we've been here, like the doctor that Ty sees now, has been telling him that there's holistic ways that he can be helping his health without having to take so much medication, because the U.S. is built on the pharmaceutical industry, so they kind of want you to be sick so that they can give you more pills, and when you go in, they give you a pill for something, and then you have side effects, and they give you a pill for that, and then the next thing you know, you're taking 20 pills, So he's on a lot of medication, and his doctor was like, you're on a lot of medication, we need to get you off of some of these. And so, he started him on some herbal supplements. He didn't just take him off of everything, but he just started him on some herbal supplements, kind of wean him off of some of the stuff they have him on that's causing other problems.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
so you guys still have dual citizenship?
No, you don't have to get citizenship. They have what they call residency. You don't give up your, you don't have to become a citizen. You become a resident. So you can become a temporary resident or a permanent resident. And it's a process that you have to go through to become a resident. Right now, we're here still on a tourist visa. So, a tourist visa gives you like 6 months. So, and you can stay in the country for 6 months, and then at some point you have to leave. And then when you come back, you can get another 6 months. That gives you time to go through the process that you need to go through to get your residency.
Okay.
Excuse me, how long do you have to leave for? After your 6 months?
You can leave for a day. You can leave for a day if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to leave for a long period of time.
Okay.
Who's that?
That's
Okay.
Reverend Armani. Can
I
we see your face?
I see a secret lane. What up? Hey.
I got the phone laying down.
I was like, okay. I was like, who is that? But yeah, so you don't have to leave for any particular period of time, because like for us, our residents, our temporary, our tourist visa will be up in October. But my grandson is getting married in October before the residency is up. So we're coming back to Detroit anyway, for the wedding. So we'll be there for, like the better part of a week and for the wedding, and to do a pop-up there because, people have been asking us to come back. So we'll do a little pop-up there, and we'll, go to the wedding, and then we'll come back again for the next 6 months. Okay. But during that time period, we're going to be working on getting our residency in place. Like my son and daughter-in-law live here, my youngest son, and they are permanent residents. Okay. So they came in and they set up a temporary residency first, but my son works remotely for the company that he works for, required him to go ahead and get permanent residency. So when they went back, they've been back and forth to the US quite a bit, because my daughter's mom passed, and then her aunt passed, and then their son graduated from high school, so they've been back and forth. So while they were doing that, they went ahead and got their permanent residency when they, came back again. So that he can do that for his job requirement.
Okay.
You know.
So when did the discussion for moving there begin? When did you go visit? You went to visit your son, obviously, or did you go visit your son there and just
Well, actually, we have been thinking about moving somewhere warm. We hadn't decided exactly where. At one point, we thought about Puerto Rico, because it's it's part of the U.S. You don't have to have visas or none of that. And we had friends that were living in Puerto Rico, and they kept saying, well, come here. You can live real inexpensively. And we used to live in the same apartment in New York, and they had moved there, and they have a farm. They raise goats and all kinds of stuff. And then and this was a few years ago, and then the hurricane hit Puerto Rico. And I remember that when, Bush was out there throwing out paper towels crazy. Yeah, so after the hurricane hit, I was like, oh no, about Puerto Rico, because I'm not good with severe weather. It's like, that's a bit much, because and then my friend was saying it took them a week to be able to clear their way out of their farm to the road, from all the damage that the storm had done.
Wow.
So we were like, so Puerto Rico kind of got next off the list. And so then we started looking, I started doing online research in Mexico, because I was thinking, well, it's close, and, it's warm, and, maybe we should look at some, and I kind of fell down the YouTube rabbit hole. If you go on YouTube, you start looking at people's videos, and you're like, oh man, I could live there. So my son and daughter-in-law were talking about moving somewhere too, because they were empty nesters. So they were thinking about moving out of the country. And my daughter-in-law wanted to go to South Africa, because she's been there before. And so we were having a conversation, and she was like, well, what do you think about moving to Africa? And I was like, well, I would love to visit Africa, but I don't think I want to live that far away, because the family's still here, and it's hard to get back and forth. So I said, we're thinking about Mexico. And she was like, Mexico? I was like, yeah. So I told her what we were thinking about San Miguel, and she went online and started looking. And the next thing I know, they had their house on the market. I was like, wait, this is not. Yeah. So they left before we did. They left before we did. So they just, got rid of everything. Said, that's it. We out, got to place. So they left. They've been here since November. When they left right after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then we did come in February for a month. I pretty much knew that we wanted to be in Mexico somewhere, but you got to visit someplace, because looking at stuff online and then being there in person is two different things.
Right.
Not always the same thing. So we came in February and we stayed for a month. That's when we told everybody we were going on vacation in Mexico. And we stayed here for a month. And while we were here, we just kind of like fell in love with the place,
Wow.
And we went ahead and rented an apartment when we were here in February. And then we came back to Detroit, and then we spent the next month, getting rid of everything in Detroit, consolidating, getting rid of the stuff, because you have stuff. It's amazing.
I steered clear of that stuff, y'all. I said, no, I don't need any more stuff.
I have a question,
Yeah.
because we've been talking about this for maybe the month of July, or the end of June into July. The getting rid of or releasing the stuff.
Yeah. It was
what was that like? Because we're creatively connected, emotionally connected, and love,
Mhm.
just because we love, so
Right, right.
what was that like,
It was
Steph?
it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It was a challenge, because we had a lot of stuff, because we had the store, and when COVID came, we closed the store. So we had to get rid of some stuff there. But a
Mhm.
lot of the stuff went to the house. So now we got the store stuff in the house and the house stuff in the house. you know. So, and when when you're creating stuff, you have more stuff because you got stuff that you're going to create with that you think you're going to create with, and that maybe sits
Yes.
for a few years and has to age until you're ready to create with it and all that kind of
Yes.
craziness,
Yes.
you know. And then we
I
had
understand.
collections of
Understand.
stuff. I think the hardest thing to get rid of was like the artwork and the stuff that you collect from other artists. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because we had
Mhm.
a lot of artwork, and a lot of um things like I had to get rid of a good percentage of my dog collection because the dogs
Oh,
had their own room in
oh,
Detroit, So, it was like it was a lot. It was a lot. So I
you
still
know,
have a lot of them here,
right.
even though I got rid of a lot, I still have a lot of them here, you
Right.
know.
I used to tell my friends that I will babysit like for 6 months. I can hold, I can look like I need another thing. But I used to tell my friends, if you go out of town and your art needs to be babysat, it can come sit over my house with the dogs. They can come move in
Mm,
temporarily. But
hmm.
it's just, I remember your dog collection, Stephanie,
Yeah.
and even your fabric collection
Girl, there
and
was
your
so much fabric. It was tubs and tubs and shelves of fabric. Like, and I was just like, it was overwhelming. So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, Arts and Scraps has always been one of my, favorite places to go to look for textile. I'll donate it back to them because then it can go
right.
everywhere, right?
Mhm.
No, because they don't take small pieces anymore. They only take yardage and a good percentage of what I have because I work in small
Small.
pieces,
Yes.
with small pieces. And they're like, and I was trying to convince them, and the guy, Dana, that worked for them, he was trying to convince them because he's the one that brought a lot of it to my house.
He wanted
You know, but they have new management over there. And so
Yeah.
they decided that the fabric department is too overwhelming. And they were getting
Right,
ready
they
for
have
their
to do the same thing.
Right, I know. And they're like, well, no, we can't. We don't have nowhere to put all those small things. And it wasn't like I was just bringing them a couple of bags. It
Right.
would have been like 30 tote tubs at least, 30 to 40 tubs of fabric.
Wow.
It was so much. It was so much.
Wow.
So, when they wouldn't take it, then we started trying to, first I was like, okay, let me see if I can sell it. We'll have a sale, fabric
Mhm.
sale to people that, so can come go through it and we'll make it a really good price. Take a tub of it for $10 or whatever.
Right.
So some of the fabric people came, but it was a lot for them too. They were like, they were like, we don't know, this is too much. It's overwhelming. So we sold some of it,
Oh,
and
wow.
then it got to the end, and then I was like, okay, well, what nonprofits can I give it to?
Right.
Like who's teaching sewing or whatever. So we did give it. We ended up donating it to a couple of nonprofits,
Okay.
that ended up taking it, splitting it up and taking it between them. But it was hard to get rid of all that stuff. It was too much stuff. It was too much
Wow.
stuff. I was just like, So since I've been here, I've been really trying to rein myself in when it comes to what I purchase, with creating things in mind, you know.
Mm.
What's helping, of course, is that the textile selection here for
Oh
just
my God.
regular textiles is not as good as the US. There's a lot
It's
of
not
hand
as good as
woven.
the US?
No, there's a lot of hand woven fabrics. The hand
Okay.
woven fabrics are awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, they're also a little more expensive for
Mhm.
making hats with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right.
Like, cause I got spoiled. I was working with interior decorators and getting their sample memos, which is a good
Wow.
sized piece of fabric,
Wow.
for
Right.
free,
Right. Right.
or a
Mm.
little, because they throw them away. And
Right.
so they're like, okay, well, we're redoing our sample memos. Come get them, and they get a bag full of stuff. These nice size squares. and sort through them, and they get, that's not happening here like that, or at least I haven't found that resource.
Not
Let's put it
yet.
that way.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't found that resource. So there may be, but I just haven't.
Right.
So there's a lot of wonderful, wonderful artisan textiles, hand woven stuff and embroidered stuff that's really, really beautiful, that I've been kind of piecing in with, because it's a little more costly,
Okay.
So I've been piecing it in with other stuff, but I'm still doing the recycled stuff like denim and recycled jeans and stuff like, and
Okay.
coffee bags and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, so it's, I'm working it out, but I'm trying to not get as much. I'm trying not to build up the arsenal that I had before.
Well, let me see if I can help you by using a different word than that word, that T word, because that one is tough. So, get to a space where you can declare that you are and you will, and instead of that T word, because that T word it'll hold you bound. It'll hold you bound. Queen, you had I can't say it again because that means I got to do 10 push-ups or 20 push-ups. So
You want me to say? Are you talking about try? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is she talking about?
Yeah. We're not supposed to say it again. It's a whole game about the thing, but we usually do 10 push-ups for the singular, and for the ing we add 20. We do 20. If they've turned into glute squeezes or internal squeezes or some type of exercise to help build you and build your vocabulary with that word. So that's so Queen, you had a question or comment or share?
all that or whatever, right? I've known Stef N Ty, oh my God, since forever.
Yeah, because before we moved here,
Oh wow, really?
Because we came and did Ty came and did a pop-up at your salon, right?
Okay, when you say before you moved here, you're talking about Detroit?
Oh, before we moved to Detroit, yes. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean
which year?
No, I mean, at least a good 20, maybe 25 years, maybe 20 years. You moved because I knew you from before when you would travel to Detroit. So I know you're like the marketing guru, Ty, and I was always amazed at how, number one, you two would include other designers, because he would come in not only your stuff, but you would also have other people's stuff. So I thought that was very generous of you, very smart of you, But let me tell you, Ty, what I remember when I go in my kitchen, when I reach for my Veggie-Style, and you were at the shop on 8 Mile, and I said, we fixed some food and stuff or whatever we had. We didn't have a kitchen, but anyway, I was serving you some food, and I took the Veggie-Style and I started to put it. He said, no.
Oh,
yeah. You do the salt. I said, there's no salt in it. And I just remember that, whenever I go to grab that Veggie-Style, you come to my mind. But I think I found out there was a little salt in there.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, they got a no salt one.
Yeah, they had, but I think that one, anyway, add another, I don't know if that one, but add another one, like you said, some of them does.
Yeah.
When I read that, I was like, oh my God, I was about to kill my brother, And then, but you the clothing that Mama Evelyn mentioned, I used to get some of that. And I'm gonna tell you, when I lose some items, it ain't no big thing, but I had that shawl. I bought the shawl from y'all. And I love that shawl, and I lost it. Somebody, because I was at an event and you had to lay your stuff down. So you can get it.
Is that the one with the Genyami on the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, I got so many compliments on that. So that one kind of hurt me. That one. Yeah, but so in your doing the hats, being in Mexico, here is cold. People want a hat. So how have you had to adjust in your fabric and all that for there or what?
Somewhat. I am not initially trying to change the whole style of what I do for the market here.
Okay.
Because there's not really the kind of market here that I need to support. I'm really focused on continuing to supply my online customers, because what 2020 taught us was that you don't have to have a retail location to sell
Yes.
your work.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so when we had to close the store because of COVID and we had to focus online, actually the business grew probably about 3 times from when we had the retail store.
Wow.
Because what we did is we stopped making hats for a minute, and made just masks, because that's what people needed, were the face masks, and people weren't able to get them, and they couldn't get them shipped from China where they're making them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I started initially with someone who asked me to help to get masks for her home healthcare workers, because they had a staff of like 200 people that went out into homes, and they had ordered these masks, and the shipment did come in at the beginning of COVID, masks and gloves and everything, and somebody stole the whole shipment. So now they have all these workers that have to go into people's private homes, and COVID is running rampant, and they have nothing. So she was like, well, can you just make us some masks, as many as you can do, it doesn't matter, any little bit helps. So I made some, I kind of rounded up other people that sewed, and we all made a lot of masks, and she would just like go from house to house, picking up whatever mask each sewer was making for her people. And so once that happened, then I got referred to a hospital. And the hospital, I made masks for hospital workers, and I made masks for police officers. And then, and so I was doing it for free for the frontline workers until I started running out of cotton fabric to do it in. And then I was like, okay, well, I gotta start, charging people to do this, because I gotta buy more fabric and everything. It was hard to get everything. It was hard to get fabric. It was hard to get elastic. It was like a lot going on.
Right.
So,
Right.
but what that did, because we started making the masks, and people started, word of mouth started going from person to person, that this is where you can get some, that we got a lot more people coming to us who had nothing, who had never seen us before, that had no interest in hats whatsoever, that didn't know we existed, but they knew that we were the mask people. So once they got into our arena online, then they found out what else we do. So our customer base increased dramatically, because of the mask. So because of that, the online business started flourishing, which, when I got back to making the hats again, then I have a whole new customer base that I didn't have before, that came to me from COVID. So I'm really focusing on continuing to supply the online customers, because that's what is my bread and butter. That's what we, live on. So now we're just kind of getting to let people here know what we do. But the Midwest hat market and the Mexican hat market is two different things. Here, if people wearing hats, they're wearing it for sun protection.
Right.
They're not really wearing it for warmth or for fashion. Because fashion and hat wear is not a big thing here. It's this San Miguel's kind of, it's, even though there are a lot of artists here, it's a very conservative area as far as fashion is concerned. And us, we like the extra, want to have, plus the sizing is different, because when you're mostly an African American customer base, we have to allow for hair, and wigs and weaves and everything that's going on, and so the size is going to be different than Mexicans or the expat community, which is mostly Caucasian, that whose hair is flat and don't need the extra room. So Yeah, so it's a different thing. So we're testing some things in the market here, to see what people are interested in here. But that's not my main focus right now is to keep supplying my online customers because we've just been shipping stuff back to the US. I really have only sold maybe a couple here, not that, yeah. So it's not really, I mean, I work in my garage, my stuff is sitting there so people can see it. We have a little, we have a little shop space now that people can come by. And I've started trying to do some hybrid straw Stef N Ty versions, like I've bought some straw hats and I've been trying to like ornament a little bit with my style. I haven't.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
I've been working on doing this instead of that other word.
Oh. So y'all, y'all trying to change my vocabulary in one meeting here.
We working on one word at a time, okay?
That's all right. We squeezing.
All right, y'all. All right.
We want you to be. We know you're gonna be successful. That's all we saying. Because we know.
You are successful. We know that you are successful. Not going to be. You are.
Well, the G word has not been holding me back. Let's put it that way.
That's right. We squeezing.
That word is not the thing that's holding me back. Believe me.
Right.
I know, right?
So yeah. So anyway, it's we're I'm working on some hybrid things, which I haven't really quite figured that out yet. I'm not even sure if I wanted if that's working for me. You know what I'm saying? So like now I'm working on my my denim collection and my burlap coffee bag collection.
Right.
Which is gonna be promoted mostly on. It's gonna be promoted online. People here can see the things online too, and there may there'll be some in the shop for them to take a look at. But I don't know if that's them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm not gonna change my style because my customer base that keeps me going and that that we live off of are the online customers. So they're the first priority.
Well, I know your style.
Go ahead. Sorry, say it again. I can't. I know Hetheru said something. I couldn't hear you.
I was just saying, are the burlap bags more available in Mexico?
No. Now, they raise coffee here. I haven't.
You know what? We don't know.
Yeah, we haven't.
The deal is Mexico is huge. So I haven't even gotten to Mexico City, which is the main. Mexico City is like going to New York on steroids. So it's a whole other level, So we don't know.
Yeah.
But around here, this is how it works. San Miguel is where you chill. It's cheaper rent, the whole nine. Mexico City is like going to New York and it's more people, more things going on. We haven't researched that. Like Sheila, like when you met me and I was coming from Baltimore, it's the same kind of thing. You got to go around this place. So I haven't really been exploring it yet like that. But believe me when I tell you, I'm on my way.
I know you are.
Mexico City is the next hit. So that's what I keep getting the feedback.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to go to Mexico City. You got to go to Mexico City.
The bull is gonna graze. That's for sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
don't know about the work that Stef N Ty do. This is Pinterest. Just to show you some of the
Oh
yeah.
Who is that woman you holding on to?
Oh my goodness.
I love how fierce people look when they put the hats on.
I know they get all
they just get, it's just an instant, their shoulders go back and the chest. It's a whole posture.
They get attitude when they get it on their
Attitude. I like that.
Attitude.
Mm.
And they say people send me the best pictures because a lot of these pictures are not ones that we took of them. People take pictures themselves and send them to us, you know, and it always makes me feel good, you know, that somebody enjoyed it enough to like take a photo and send it to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of the joy. You get to enjoy what the people, because I'm going to tell you, you all have gifted me a couple of hats, and I may have had them, maybe one of them I may have had 2 minutes because somebody said they liked it. And so it just was in my spirit to gift it to them, you know, and spread that love and that joy. I remember when I met Ty, he had come to an event at the Lothrop and Third space with Grand Genevieve.
Oh, yeah.
And so I met Ty and I was like, hey, my friend is having a party tonight at a gallery and you need to be there. I can't even get the words out. Ty sold every hat. He sold out. Do you remember that? At Johansson Charles Gallery? Sold out. Every hat was gone. Came home butt naked. I'm just saying that. I'm talking about in butt naked and supplies. I'm talking about in hats. And then when I finally met Steph, I was like, oh my God, I love y'all. Oh my God. And I've had coffee. They don't only do hats and pose. They have coffee. I've had coffee. Where did I get I still have wait a minute. Look who's sitting right here. I still got my can, okay? Don't play with me. I still got my can.
Oh, your tea.
My tea. It's my tea. Yes, my tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, when we had the shop on John R, we tried to put as many, a variety of products for people in there. And we tried to, have branded products too, so, we have like the mugs and the books and Ty's comic books and, all different, things that so that there's a variety for people that come in, so there's a little something for the kids. If you're not into hats, but you like teas, you can have some tea. If you like not into hats and you like, and then of course Ty's artwork, which is awesome, for home decor and stuff. So, we have a little bit of everything, Yeah.
I remember when I'm sorry, go ahead, Mama Evelyn. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, no, we were talking about arts and scraps, and I went over there Saturday before last. Just Spirit told me, stop by there. Let's go see what's happening. And I had seen this lampshade made of slides years ago, and I wanted to do one. And went over there and I scored a box of slides, vintage slides from places all over the world. We're talking Africa, Egypt. And so I was playing around last night with
you making earrings or necklace? What you making, Mama Evelyn?
Well, the lampshade.
Oh, okay, the lampshade. Okay.
I'm gonna start out with I bought a beautiful lampshade from what was that? Marshall's. What is that?
Yeah.
Marshall's, yeah.
Yeah.
And a drum lampshade. So I'm gonna make a lampshade. So yeah, that's a dangerous place to go. It really is. And you go in there and
that was my spot. That was my spot. I love
Yes. I
got so much
really
stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Because when I first came to Detroit, I was having similar issues to have here, was finding a good resource for textiles, and so, and I was complaining to Barbara Winder, I was talking to her about it. I was like, y'all don't know how to, because I'm coming from the East Coast where there's fabric stores, not just Joann, but there's real fabric stores.
Right.
Fabric warehouses.
So Joann's was stressing me out. I was like, I'm not a culture. I do not need, 50 prints with little bandos, little critters and stuff, so, so she was like, oh, I'm gonna take you somewhere where you can get some fabrics. So she took me to Arts and Scraps, and they had just gotten a shipment from somebody that day. And so there was like boxes. They were bringing out boxes of these big decorator swatches, and we just lost our minds. We just went in. I was so happy. I came out. I was like, yes. This is what I needed. So that was my spot. They got to. This was originally when I can't remember the woman that originally was running Arts and Scrap.
Mhm.
I want to say Pam. I don't think that's her name. But anyway, you know, they knew me because I was in there so often. This is why I look like all these tubs with fabric. But they would let me go in the boxes when people would drop stuff off. They would let me go in the back and go to the boxes before they even put it out on the floor and stuff. So I got some really, really wonderful text that I do miss. But like I said, we have to keep researching where to get stuff here because we've only been here for 2 months. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was longer.
I know it.
And it's such a beautiful place. It looks magical
Colorful.
there.
Colorful.
Yeah, well, it's called a Pueblo Mágico. There's certain cities in Mexico that they call Pueblo Mágicos, which is basically translates to magical cities, magical towns. And so so people consider San Miguel as one of the Pueblo Mágicos, and it's a UNESCO heritage site. So and it's also built on a foundation of quartz, of pink quartz. That's why a lot of the there's a church that's in Centro. It's like the main thing that people come to see. Is this church that's built out of pink quartz, and it's like this big, humongous Gothic pink church in the middle of the city.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's built on silver. This was once a silver mine.
A what?
So it's silver. It's built on
Silver.
Silver?
There's a lot of silver.
There's a lot of silver here.
Oh,
So
okay.
This is like where you get your silver.
Oh.
So you have just a whole resource of silver here.
So they're really intentional about taking advantage of the quartz situation too, because I have a massage therapist that helps me with my knee issues. And even on the massage table, under his massage table, he's got like all these big crystals, while he's working on you, and so I was like, everybody says, well, this is why it's so laid back and chill here, because everybody's sitting on quartz all the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. It's in the mountains, and the views are great. It seems like no matter where you are, you're either looking up the mountain, down the mountain. So there's a view pretty much everywhere.
I think the elevation is like 7,000
feet.
So we're high.
Okay.
Did you notice that when you got there? Did your body feel? I don't know. How did you feel?
Yeah, because the air in the beginning is lighter. The higher you go, the lighter the air is. So
it does take a minute to get used to the altitude. Yeah, especially when we first came in February. We were both kind of feeling it. That you like, why am I out of breath? Why am I feeling so like, the altitude does get you in the beginning.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you baked a cake yet? Because I know when we bake cakes, they tell you about the altitude. You got to bake differently when the altitude is different.
No, I haven't. I haven't baked anything yet. And I guess that, I really haven't. I haven't even cut on my oven. I've used the top of the stove, but I haven't cut on the oven.
Right.
We have so many bakeries here. I would not even. Yeah. And there's bakeries like everywhere. I mean, that if anything, the baked goods will get you because they're all good, and you can't stay, and they're inexpensive, and you can't stay away from them. And like from my house to our house, you walk up about a block and a half, there's a bakery, another half block, and at the end of that next block there's a bakery, and then you get to the main drag and you go around the corner and there's a bakery. It's like you can't.
It's like the mountain.
You can't escape. You can't escape. I was like, I don't know if I can have another pastry ever.
Oh,
it's just so good.
Oh my goodness.
Take pictures.
Oh, that's one thing I admire about you guys is that you're on top of the game of the media, getting your stuff out there and the pictures out there and the videos. And that's something that Danielle's not on the call today, but she pushes us to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have to let people know what you do. You
right.
know, it's just
Right.
a basic closed mouths don't get fed situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
If people don't know what you're doing, they're not going to respond to what you're doing. You know, you're not going to get any interest. They don't even know you're out there, you know, and you got to let people know what you do. You know, even if you think in the beginning and everybody's looking, people know. I'm always surprised. You know, I went to the, they have what they call a tianguis here, which is a huge flea market. It's like going to Eastern Market 12 times. It's huge. It's huge.
Mhm.
I can't even describe how huge it is. One day I walk through with the camera and do a video, and they sell everything there, you know, produce, everything, pots and pans, clothes, you know, electronic equipment, furniture, everything. But they do it every Tuesday. Well, they do it Tuesday and Sunday, but Tuesday's the biggest one. And so I'm walking through the market, and I went there to get jeans to cut up for my hats, you know, because you can buy used clothes. I bought, you know, a bunch of jeans for, you know, 30 pesos a piece, which is like $1.75, you know. And and so I'm buying, walking around with my tote bag of jeans, getting ready to leave, and I see this family, this black family. Whenever, because there's so few of us here, you know. So I walk by them and I'm like, hey, black people, you know. So, so they're like, we know who you are. And I was like, how you know who I am? I don't know who you are. So because they had already there's a group here called Black San Miguel, which is the black people have formed their own little Facebook group.
Yes.
You know, there's less than 200. There's maybe like 100 people, you know, in this group. That's, you know, not saying that all the black people, but that's, you know, it's not a lot of us here. So they had seen my picture in the Black San Miguel. Says, we know those glasses, and I was like, okay. This is what I'm saying. People know, you know, that you don't think would know who you are, what you do. You don't put it out there, then, you know, if you put it out there, people will latch on to what you're doing, even if you don't think they're looking, you know, even if they're not like liking your page or making comments or whatever. People know what you're doing, you know, if you put it out there. So you gotta, you know, you gotta have some kind of presence. And the good thing about social media is, you know, back in the day when Ty was running around to all the different cities, he had to run around to all different cities because there was no social media.
Right.
You know, so, you know, he had to get on a bus, train, plane, whatever, and go to Detroit or go to Chicago or go to wherever it is and do an event, and then let, you know, people would find out about you that way and by word of mouth and stuff. With social media, you don't have to get out your chair if you don't want.
Right.
You know, you can do everything online, and people not only in your town but across the world will see what you do.
Yeah.
You know. And I mean, I have shipped hats to many different countries that people have, that I would never have met just in normal everyday interaction.
This is eliminated. This.
What you got in there?
This is my Stef N Ty hats because I gotta go do a show in Detroit. So I gotta do that. You don't have to do that no more with the online, you know. Listen.
Look, we were fussing.
You need to add about three more of those bags. At least. Some friend of mine was just saying to me in Baltimore, and I don't know how you did it. Come on the bus, you got like 3 bags, clothing, you know, you just gotta be determined. Yeah. And like I said, the next hit is gonna be Mexico City. I done already started. Getting with the sister who owns an Airbnb. So once I get there, I'll know what's happening. And try Mexico City. Live here, but get the pesos those.
Okay. Well, my next question was, do you have a guest room, and how long can I come stay?
I know that's
Yeah, we got a guest room.
Look, we can go when they come here.
Oh, I see. Say trade
housekeeping.
house.
I'm gonna go to the pop-up. I've decided I will be here for the pop-up. I will be there.
Yeah, so we'll be in town. My grandson's getting married on the 14th of
Okay.
October. So we'll be in town that week. So we're trying to pick out an Airbnb so that we can have a pop up in the house, and wherever we're staying, and so we'll post, whatever the address is of where we're gonna be. It'll probably be, I've looked at a couple places. He's getting married at Marygrove. So it may be somewhere over like in the Illinois area.
Okay.
Or not. I don't, it depends. We just need to find the best location where there's not an issue if people are coming to the house and shopping, because some Airbnbs don't want you to have any guests. You gotta
Right.
set up. So yeah. So that's the plan. So that way that all our Detroit folks can we can connect and see y'all's faces in person again for a minute. That would be nice. Awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, anything that Everett can do to assist you, anything that the Elizabeth can do to assist you in coming in, including the space on Iron Street if you need, space to do it.
See that love? That's love.
And I don't know if you ever, when you came over, if you ever went upstairs in the kitchen, but we've turned that into a Lizzie's kitchen, a kickoff, a spinoff from Elizabeth. So that whole space up there, yeah, I'll send you some pictures and stuff. And so
you know what, Sheila, I forgot about your space.
Yeah.
And that's a nice size space.
And if you do it on a day where you can use upstairs and downstairs, so if you want to just be upstairs for that time, they just come out and go upstairs and blah blah blah. But if you want to have something upstairs, or one of the days when the salon is basically closed, and if I know in plenty of time, I can tell them, except for Saturday, but like the Sunday or that evening, a Saturday evening, Sunday, whatever, we can work something out. If you need me, I'm here for you. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely think about. That's not a bad idea. Because that's why we're trying to think of what location to do it in. And definitely people would know Iron Street because that's where we started. That's like coming back home there.
That's right. That's it.
Because sometimes when I say, Everett, we're on Iron Street. Oh, we're Stef N Ty.
Look, and when we were there, we had to always explain where Iron Street was. Everybody's like, Iron Street? I ain't never heard of Iron Street.
What's that?
I was like, okay, it's a little street. It's only one block.
Yes.
Very powerful area. So a lot of greats have been there. That's what I know for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of greats. And still there.
Yeah, that's true. There's still a lot of creative people over there. So that's a good energy in that space.
And they have a B&B there, 2 doors over.
An Airbnb?
Yeah. And
on Iron Street?
Really nice. I will find out about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at that.
If you could let us know what the listing is.
Well, because the space,
it's on the ground floor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, where the main door, where the
it's in that space next to the office.
It's to the right.
Yeah, to the right of the office.
Towards Jefferson.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Right next on the other side. We're on the one side of the barbershop.
Right.
It's on the other side.
On the other side of the barbershop.
And it's long. It's not up, like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be better because a lot of our customers are not doing the stairs like that. And the elevator never works in that building.
My brother is the maintenance person over there now. And Oh yeah, and my brother, he doesn't play. He's very, 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 very serious and very I mean serious in the sense of you give him an assignment, he gets it done.
Right.
And just a wonderful person, just good people. And one of the best that they have gotten. I know when he leaves, because
Girl,
they're
listen.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
because they're
Liz
maintenance
is like,
people.
Liz like,
When we
you
were
can't
there.
go nowhere. You can't go nowhere. You can't.
Mhm.
You can't. No. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that out this week and get
Yeah,
that.
definitely. If you can find out what the listing is, and then I'll look up and see if they have any available openings while we're there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so great. That's gonna work out. It's like,
Yeah, that would trip
yes,
people
that
out
will
if we
work
end up
out.
back in the same
I
spot.
know, right?
Back in
You
the
wouldn't
same
have to
building where we started, right?
Right. You wouldn't have to explain where you are. Oh yeah, I
No.
know. I know where we're going.
Yeah,
I know, right?
they'll be going to this other space because they were on the other side of the
Yeah.
and they'll be
On the Mount Elliott side.
no.
No. We were like from the main door. We were to the left.
Oh,
Like
okay. Okay,
like 2
towards
doors
the
to the
water.
left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that park over there is so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Oh
It's so
yeah.
Mhm.
I do miss having that. That was kind of like our backyard, having your backyard be
I
right
know,
on the
right?
river and that beautiful park. Anytime
Yeah,
you wanted to go hang outside, you just go down there.
but get this now. You know the land right across from us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just talking about this yesterday, and I said I could see a stage a ramp from the top to the end, a whole block. You know, because that's a whole block.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Can you just imagine a fashion hair and fashion show where and everybody just bring their chairs out, and in the middle of that whole block, you gotta walk that ramp.
Oh yeah, that would be fabulous.
Oh man, that would be just
Yeah.
fabulous.
So
Yeah.
have they done anything with it?
No, I'm gonna buy it.
Oh.
Didn't they knock the building
I
down?
don't know when, but
Yeah, they had to knock that building
and
down. That building was falling in the street.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's been gone. I have pictures of it when in progress when they were tearing it down.
Yeah. I was there, and I was so glad when that was gone because when it blocked, but it reminded me of New York for some reason. That
Oh, how it
was all enclosed like that. But and the black building, the
club
that
now.
was down there. Some young, it's just one young white guy. He bought that, and he has when he first bought it before they started renovating it. He had some events. He had young vendors all packed in there and stuff. He's a DJ and all that stuff. They've been working on it all year, so I'm expecting. I know they've had 2 events there, and they're all parked on my lot. And I said, "No,
you could be making money." Listen,
I know, right?
Look, that's the funding to get the place, because you could charge X amount of dollars per car. Okay. You need a valet. Mama I know how to drive sticks and regular cars. I will park it. Look, we could be valet and charge per car.
All right now.
Okay.
That's
Don't
great.
play with me.
Right. Hook the
Sure.
community up. Yeah, so that's going to happen. I'm buying that bill. I know it's millions of dollars, but somehow
So you're gonna
way.
work it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want a building. I don't want a building to block my sight.
Right.
The water, but so if you put a building up there, so that's what I've been like. How do I do this? And I'm one who likes to change furniture around. So I would want to be able to change that space whenever I need to change it. Instead of putting structure there. I'm sure something will be there, but I don't want it to be high. I'm trying to no. I'm working on the should I put it the parking, because parking is the issue, right?
Right.
I put it down there and I put it high, then I'm blocking them. So I'm gonna have to put it on this end.
You can dig too. You can always dig. You can
always dig. I don't know when we'll hit the water, but we can dig.
You can have your event space on the Iron Street side of the lot, like block it, like section the lot off lengthwise. Have parking on the back side of the lot.
Yes,
and have your event space on the Iron Street side of the lot.
Yeah.
You know, like if you split it lengthwise.
Lengthwise, I see that.
Yeah, lengthwise a block. So that still gives you that length for your runway. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And then the cars can be behind it. You know.
Yep. So yeah, that I claim that. I'd like for y'all to agree with me for that.
All right.
I'm ready to make a vision board for it. Let's go ahead and make the vision board. But you know what? You know what else? We also have the option of those the containers.
Yes.
And they got wheels. And so we could shift them, move them here for this event, move it there for that event. Look, keep it a mobile home, something, keep it on wheels, and we can just move it around, okay? Go where you need.
So you have to find out who owns it, how to get a hold, how to get it. And also maybe there might be some programs through the city because the lot's been vacant for years. I mean,
lifetime. They live in Canada, the owners.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them before when they, when they come every once in a while, the big blonde woman and
Yes.
Everybody used to always say that's the blondest woman we've ever seen. Very blonde and very white.
Wow.
A light went off on the street.
You are a very blonde woman.
It's funny. It's funny to hear you share about that space, Queen, because there's a space over here. There used to be a plant over here off Schoolcraft and near Ewall Circle. And it's just a big cement slab. And every time I ride by there, I see this massive party. Hetheru Isis and Jungle DJ, and the speakers are big and they could be loud like they like to turn. And I just see a party happening. I ain't asking nobody. I just want to pop up and do a party over there. Oh my goodness. But it's like a block long.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, every time I go by there, I just bling. I just see us over there like, yeah. Oh my God. Oh no.
Yes. That's beautiful.
So, Mama Evelyn, you got another question?
No, not that I can think of right now. Well, see, what inspires your art? What inspires you? What day-to-day things, or events inspire, the art that you guys do?
And added to that, what the style that you do, how close is that to how your mom?
Well, technically my mom didn't sew. I learned to sew from my great grandmother on my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that my style is kind of an accumulation of a lot of things, over the years, because I learned to sew from my great grandmother. So I kind of learned an appreciation of things like, pearl buttons and hand, crocheted laces and stuff like that. And then as a young woman, I worked various jobs. I've made canvas bags for a company. I've made awnings for buildings. Anything that you could, I didn't last too long with that job because that's like extremely taxing on your body. Cutting these huge canvases and rolling them up under the machine and all this kind of stuff. And then, I've done a lot of different creative jobs. I worked for American Handicrafts for a while, which is a crafts store. That was kind of like my second job as a teenager. And so they sold all kinds of craft supplies for different types of, creative things. And so I think over the years, the style has kind of evolved, and then started from making clothing and learning different techniques for doing this and that and the other. And I've kind of incorporated a lot of what I do into that. and then I also was a manager for a number of years for the G Street Fabrics Buttons and Trims department. So I was their manager and buyer. So I was going to New York and buying stuff for the trims department of the store.
Oh, wow.
And so I was going into these places and seeing all kinds of like, fabulous buttons and fabulous trimmings and and then I would meet with the African brothers and they'd have all these wonderful brass figures and stuff like that I would buy this stuff for my department. And so I think all of that kind of goes into what you end up doing, And so I think that's why I like such a variety of textiles. I like mixing textiles. I like ornamenting with unusual things, which is why, my thing is if it can be attached to drilled, it's going to be one hand. So people be like, is that a chopstick? Yes, that's a chopstick. Is that a wine cork? Yes, that's a wine cork. So it's just not anything that can be creatively used.
Yeah.
It just kind of sometimes it just kind of pops into your head. It's like, okay, well, this would look good with this particular textile. So and then using a lot of recycled textiles too. A lot of times you don't it's not like I go into arts and scraps with a plan. You know what I mean? A place like that, or when I was making clothing, I would go into a fabric store where I'm buying stuff by the yard with a plan, But when you're working with recycled textiles, you go in and you see what they have. What is it that they have, and then is it anything that they have that I can use, that's speaking to me creatively, that I can use to create what I do. So it's kind of a different process, because you're more or less influenced by what you find, as opposed to going in with something in mind. So it's not like, a lot of, when you see shows on fashion design, people are sitting down and they're sketching out and they're going to the fabric store and they need X number of yards of red satin, whatever. It's not like that. I'm going into a place and I'm saying, okay, what do you have? And whatever out of what they have, I'm picking something that appeals to me. And sometimes it gets used right away. Sometimes it doesn't get used until I find the thing that it's supposed to be.
Right.
So it's kind of a different creative process.
Yeah. Do you still? Do you work with patterns?
I have my own patterns for my hats.
Okay.
I haven't been making clothing for a minute because the hats kind of took over my life. So
the hats?
But I do
your own patterns.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's still you still have a pattern because you don't want to have to figure everything out from scratch every time you make a hat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to have to, go through your measurements. So I have patterns of the hat styles that I do, so that I can just work from the pattern on whatever.
Yeah, because you would have you had seamstress helping you, so you had to have a pattern.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to know the two of you. The way you.
Oh, please! We're honored to know you guys.
It was y'all. Yeah, you added a lot to Iron Street. People became known. From Iron Street, and now we have Dr. What is her name?
Rise Moten.
Is that her name? Moten?
With the sound bowls, the sound therapy.
Yeah.
She's on the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Her and her sister-in-law have the same name. It's it's kind of wild. It's a little wild. I love it. Yeah. One is a therapist and the other one is a sound bowl therapy.
Yeah. Fame does her hair.
Oh, okay.
Tightens her locks.
And is the brother? What's the brother? The artist that was there. He's air.
Yeah, he's around he's on the across the park now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's still in the building. Okay, cool.
And Goddess is still there. Goddess.
Oh, okay.
Still there, yeah.
And then the brother that has the
Goddess is still around.
Which one?
Goddess is still there.
Oh yeah. I'm still there. She called me, Mama Head, we gonna do a photo shoot. I'm like, be there in a minute.
Still making her incense.
Oh my gosh, yes. But she, She not selling them. It's something sacred about. I mean, I love hearing her story about how it all came to be. But she is still there. Still, she's using different types. She's doing different types of fabric. She's branching off from her staple. So yeah, she's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I didn't know she made incense. She makes incense.
Yeah. She made some really nice sense back in the day. I don't know now.
Yeah, I don't know if she still does, but
yeah.
You know, goddesses.
Something we need to find out.
She keeps her. You know, she
Yeah,
does
right.
goddess. She's been doing goddess circles, so I would imagine that she's sharing them. But yeah, she, you know, she.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, cool,
That's a
cool,
sacred.
cool.
That's a sacred.
I'm glad there's still some
possession.
people there.
Mhm. Holding it down. Although they just sent me a letter saying we're going to increase rent $200 more.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so I sent them a letter saying,
Say no,
you know, that this is happening, that you know, I'll go up
Mhm.
100. I'll go up 100, you know,
Mhm.
but 200, and I gotta, no, I'm not even gonna mention the issues. So yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, well, then we know there's issues.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, these, you know, whenever people send contracts, we do not know it. Some of us have not known it, but you can always, even your credit card company, you can write and say, well, I don't like this part and this part and this part, and they can say yay or nay. But we know, we have to know that we have those options to say no. If everybody in the building told them, absolutely not, or whatever, you know, there's better power in masses,
In
you know,
numbers.
but
Yes.
yeah, so anyway.
Mhm.
We gotta get that lot. We gotta get you that lot. You can tell them you can raise it what you want to. I'm gonna move over here. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. Star has joined us, and Lolly.
Hey, Star
Come
Lolly.
on camera and say hello.
Ebony. I don't know if y'all got Ebony before.
Yeah, Ebony.
Hey.
He must be in a meeting, or she
Uh-huh.
hasn't come on camera yet.
Yeah.
She listen working.
Grand Rising.
Grand
Grand
Rising.
Rising,
Come on
Star.
camera. Thank you. Hi,
Hey,
Lolly.
Miss Lolly.
Lolly's traveling.
Lolly got, well, are those locks? Or did you braid them all, or you just got two of them hanging down?
Oh,
And
it's just, these are the two that were like didn't fit in the ponytail at the moment.
Oh, she got a ponytail.
Yeah, it's a lot.
They didn't want to. They
I was
always have
working
their
out,
own
so
mind.
it just did its own thing. Fine.
They were helping.
So
Yeah.
I figured when I get my new place, because I can't fit anything else in here. When I get my new place, I'm gonna have my exercise room, right? And so I'm gonna be on the treadmill and stuff while
we talking.
Yeah. And yeah. I said, okay, I just sit it right there, and I'm gonna be fancy. And I'm gonna have one of those treadmill things that has the camera. I don't have to try to fit my phone on there.
Like your speaker and your cup.
And then I'm just like Lolly, yeah, because Lolly did it. You know, she was exercising and talking to us and stuff. I said, okay, we got to get it in. We got to get it in. So, got to get it in. Yeah. So my continuous thought about Stef N Ty is that when I come down the stairs, there are two mannequins for clothing sitting, because I gave y'all, I still have two of them, only, shoulder, waist
high.
not the whole body. And I'm sitting there, well, now y'all don't, I had to find somebody who can use them.
Are they, you said they're waist high or from top to waist? Leg to waist? Bust.
Yeah, to bust.
Okay.
Not here to here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Like a dress form would be.
I have two of them. Yeah, so if someone sews and needs,
well, just take a picture, put it on Facebook. Somebody will
do. I need them because I've been making skirts. So I've been making some more of my skirts. So yeah, I made 4 last night, and I have them tied to my chair in my dresser and extended the string so I can make my. I got them stuck in my toes and my kneecap.
They are there for you, boo. Do you need one, Mama Evelyn? You need one?
No, not really.
Not really doing.
No, I don't do clothing. No.
Okay.
The clothing I do is like one off, and I don't need a mannequin because it's usually like free flowing stuff.
Well, Star, what's up with you, girl? You
You laying down? You okay?
It's a horizontal day, baby. It's a horizontal day.
Can't hear you. You're on mute.
My stomach's a little upset, that's all.
Oh, okay.
Some
Okay.
ginger. We need some ginger. Some ginger tea.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, you remember Stef N Ty, Pam?
I have some.
What's she say?
Yes, hi, Stef N Ty.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
Good,
Turn my head this way. How you doing?
Yeah, right.
There you go.
I hope you feel better.
You too.
Uh-oh. Who's that?
My Flintstones phone.
Wow. Wow. This has been, I don't know what you guys have to open your shop in a little while and
It's Wednesday, so we're not open. We're only open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Only open 3 days a week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not open today. So I have but I do have a seamstress that I just recently had start working with me. She's coming by this morning.
Okay.
So yeah. So she'll be here around 11. So we're gonna it's been a little challenging because she doesn't speak English and I don't really speak Spanish. So we're using Google Translate a lot and a lot of hand gestures.
Yeah.
trying to work it out, So so that's been, but she's really good. I work in my garage, so I have the garage door open most of the day when I'm in there, and people are walking up and down the street, so they stop by because a lot of people have businesses in their garages here. So people always look in the door, see what's happening. And so this lady stopped by one day and she was trying to explain to me that she was, that she had a granddaughter. She had a granddaughter that was looking for work. And so I said, well, does she sew? Well, because we're not speaking the same language, there's some miscommunication going on. And she says yes, but then when I kind of find out she doesn't really sew, it was her. She's looking for her to have a cleaning, to do cleaning. I said, no, well, we really don't need a cleaner because the building has a cleaner. And I said, but I need somebody who sews because I'm showing her the word sew on the translator. Like, I need somebody who sews. And she says, oh, I have a friend, her name is Maria DeLuz, and I'll tell her. And I was like, okay. But I didn't really think of anything about that because, people talk all the time about they can tell their friends, whatever. The next thing, 2 days later, somebody rings my doorbell and it's Maria DeLuz. And I'm just like, she's like, I found out her friend had told her to come over here. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I had her come back the next day and she's been learning how to make the hats that I'm making, So she's only worked a couple of days for me so far. So we're working through the process. But it's like I said, it's been a process because there's a language difference.
Yeah.
And there's also a difference in the way things are. So, everybody, I don't know if Evelyn, for sure, everybody that sews, they have their own process.
Right.
Of ways that they put things together, and I'm not real picky about how you do it if it comes out the same. But, when I start with somebody, I like them to do it my way. And then if they have a shorter way that's easier for them to do it, then fine, as long as it looks the same.
Right.
Yeah.
But I like to teach everybody my way of doing things, and so sometimes that's a challenge when you can't totally explain everything that you explain, and you have to kind of physically walk them through it and say, okay, this is what I'm doing this, and then there's doing this, and there's a reason why I don't want you to do that, and that type of thing. So,
Right, right.
it's a process.
What's the cost of living compared to Detroit? What is that like?
It's really a big difference. It's really a big difference. The housing, well, San Miguel is not the least expensive place in Mexico. It's cheaper than Mexico City. It's a little more expensive than some of the more outlying areas. The places where there's a lot of tourists or a large expat community are going to be a little higher. But it's not. It's definitely cheaper than living in the States. Period. I was teasing Ty because when we got our first electric bill, because you pay your electric every 2 months here instead of every month. And so when we got the first electric bill, I was looking at it and I said, oh, I don't know if we pay this electric bill. He was like, what? And I said, it's $8. He was like, ready to knock me out, because we're so used to fighting the DTE on a regular basis.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they're crazy.
DTE was kicking our behinds in Detroit. Oh my God. And I understand, because we don't have air conditioning or heat here, because you don't really need it. Because basically the temperatures are pretty moderate year round.
Okay.
So we did have a little heat wave here a few weeks ago where it was pretty 90s every day. And so we have fans, that we use for that. But then at night, it always cools down 20, 30 degrees at night. So today it's probably going to get up to maybe low 80s, and then it'll be 50 something at night, so everything cools off. And so it's not hot enough to need an air conditioner on a regular basis, and it's not cold enough to need heat on a regular basis.
Nice.
Because you're in the mountains, right? It's in the mountains.
Yeah, because we're in the mountains. Yeah.
So do you guys go out and walk and go up the mountains? Are you experiencing the outdoors like that?
We haven't been. Yeah, we haven't been in the. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
I was just thinking, Ty probably got to go somewhere. I got to move. I got to walk.
I know.
Yeah, Ty got to move. You know me well, right?
Hey, the cow gonna graze, the bull gonna graze, baby. Check out this grass over here and over here.
So
and me and Arthur, we take our time. We'd be like, okay, it's we're going out today. Then we may not go out for a couple of days, and we're going to, give my knees a rest. Then go try it again. Because everything is either uphill or downhill. Because it's very hilly, very hilly, and the streets are all cobblestone, so they're not,
giving. They're not giving on your. Yeah. How about entertainment and music and stuff? What is in your area? Probably more in the city, I'm sure. But how is that? And in particular, if is this somewhere I can talk my husband into going? And he's a jazz musician.
Yeah, they do a lot of covers of American music, but it's mainly Spanish music. But you know what? It also too, nobody is really bringing here American musicians. See, that's crazy. You see, because I see all of it, but but it's I'm just learning the lay of the land. Trust me, it's a lot of stuff that I want to put down myself because nobody has actually done it. So it probably would be. It would be great. They love us over. They really do, and it's kind of like wherever we go in the world, they emulate what we do. But again, there's nobody that's bringing that kind of thing. We always, I don't care where we go, or, it's I always got to be the first one. We're the first one to do our own store, an African American store. Hasn't been done, So it's kind of like, people look at things, but they don't act upon it,
Mm-hmm.
which is really sad. And then they complain only like, oh man, I wish I could have. Man, fuck that. Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Just go ahead and do it. Remember when that night you're talking about Detroit, and we were in at breakfast, and I told you, your husband, and Kevin, I'm moving to Detroit.
You did.
Y'all were like, what? And what did you see? I went and got
You
your
moved to
car.
Detroit?
I wasn't playing. Steph was in Baltimore, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I'm getting my wife, and we coming to Detroit. Show did.
Yeah.
You said it right there.
I see all of that, and it's just a matter of time. There's a saying: you take a man who believes in himself and put him anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Give him a year, and he'll be right back on track of what he was doing. Give him a woman who believes in what he's, believes in him.
Yeah.
And he'll be right back on track. Again, I see all of that. Everybody else don't. But when it comes, then it's like, I guess you gotta be a visionary. There's only 10% of the people in the world who are gonna make things. 85% of the people are gonna follow that 10%, and they're gonna kill that other 5%. And that's a reality. I can't stop. It's like, just okay, you visualize this, and all of the music people that I know, and I'm looking at these people, and all they're doing is listening to what we do, but they're doing it in the Spanish version. Okay, that's cool. So let's start bringing some of them people. Our story. Okay, I put it in America. Now it's like it's time for it to get done in Spanish. That gives me not just Mexico, it gives me Spain, it gives me Chile, it gives me all of Latin America. Yeah. And, I mean, not Latin America, but Latin.
Yes.
The same with the comic books. They're gonna get put into Spanish. I went around in America trying to put them into the school system. I was getting all kind of, I don't think that'll work. But you'll put Superman in there. Why not put this black couple? Let's try something different.
Yeah.
You want Superman. You want Black Panther. That's not even owned by us.
Super black man, doggone it. Super black man.
So it's like, yes, I have a vision for all of this stuff. And just give me a year and it'll come to fruition. Because there's a Latin sister here, and all she does is American stuff, and she's bad. Yeah. So there is a market.
Yeah, because we listen to her because we heard her singing Bobby Caldwell.
Yeah.
And we were like, who's singing Bobby Caldwell? Yeah. She's really good. Yeah.
So
and this couple was telling me that they did bring Herbie Hancock. His first concert in Mexico was here. And it was last year. He had never performed in Mexico before. And the city of Mexico brought him here. He performed in Centro. They set up Centro with upholstered chairs and tables, and everybody brought their food and their wine and stuff, and set it up like they were in a club. It was outside in the park in Centro, and all the people and the kids all knew the words to his song because there's a music school here which uses him in the curriculum to teach the kids jazz. And so he was tripping. He was like, how did all these young people know my music? And he was like, I'm coming back because I can't believe that Mexico, that y'all are like this. He's like, he had never been to Mexico before. And I can't imagine that he had never been to Mexico, but he said this was his first performance in Mexico, was in San Miguel. And the people loved it. The sister said that they went to the concert. And she was like, he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that they knew his music and they accepted him like that.
How could somebody use his music and never contact him and tell him that they were using him?
I don't know that it's part of what they learn in school apparently. So I don't know that they have to pay, any type of,
Right, but I'm just saying, even just to email him and say, hey, Herbie Hancock, we study your, even one of the students or the teachers say,
right. But again, again, people don't act upon. They ain't thinking about. They're not. First of all, they're gonna think maybe, okay, he's big. He's not gonna want to do it or yada yada. Nobody.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
fail, that's okay. But you tried. That means you tried. And
Did.
so a lot of it, with even opening the store here and the other things that are going on, man, I'm winning because I'm trying something different.
You're
It's
doing,
not the same old thing.
Yep.
And so you gotta try something, so
Right.
I'm telling you, give me a year. It's gonna be a whole nother thing. Just like we had the open, right? Um, Weekends ago, people coming in here, they're going crazy. About at least almost 200 people. And they saying, oh my God, this is nice, yada, yada, yada. But one woman who had been to 72 countries said, you know what, Ty, you and Steph starting something. I know we bringing that chocolate. I know. So we're bringing, not that I'm trying to knock out what we're doing. I'm trying to incorporate what we're doing to what they're doing. And then, I get this request, can you bring more Black artists here? Yes, they're coming. I'm working on it.
I know
Mama Evelyn, get your bags ready. Mama Evelyn, have your
So,
your bag
You know
ready.
what?
it's
Let me-
like, you gotta try it. You gotta bring something.
You
You
doing,
know.
you actually doing, you doing.
Yeah, and even though,
Yes.
I mean, Mexico's a huge country. There's
Yeah.
52 states here. People always think of Mexico like it's just this little spot. It's 52 states
Yeah.
in Mexico. So
Wow.
if you come to San Miguel, and it's not the spot for you, you got a whole bunch of other places to
Yeah.
check out.
Mhm.
We're in Guanajuato, it's the state of Guanajuato. There's states all over the country you can check out, and all kinds of, environments. You don't have to be in the mountains. You can be on the beach. You can be, wherever you want to be. You can be in a small town. You can be in a big city. Whatever it is that suits you. But there's a lot. It's just like going to the U.S. You can live in Detroit. You can live in Wyoming. You can live in Florida. There's a whole bunch of different environments. And it's the same situation here.
Yeah, you can be in Detroit and go 4 hours to Chicago in this whole different world. So, but again, this game of life is just about, doing something, getting a different experience, and not doing the same old thing. I mean, the one thing about I appreciate here, my conversations are more about what's going on in the world. I need more people here traveling to different places. My next stop is Spain. I want to take Chile out, Ghana, Tokyo, so, just incorporating all of that, before I check out of here. Because when you're gone, you're gone, so
That's right.
it's like, go ahead and enjoy this while you can,
Yes.
while you can move, you can move around and do some different things.
Mhm. Well,
I
back
know
in,
with art and music has no language.
It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
I'll tell you, I watch when you look at some stories and where prejudice was really rampant, the musicians come together, they forget all about that because
Over.
the sound, they want the sound from that person. If they can't
Right.
get it because of color or whatever, it's just this particular and age, none of that matters. When somebody comes in and they're playing that music, it could be a group or one person, but you're interviewing somebody and it's not, they don't look like what you want, they don't but when they share their sound, what comes to them,
Yeah.
can't get that from another person because it's going to be different. And so
Right.
you just forget and it
You don't even know the words they singing, but you feel the
No,
energy.
that's true.
music.
That's
Oh my
true.
God.
That's
Oh
true.
my God.
Even when I was
Well,
in
that's the
the
same. Let me just finish this. That's the same with art. It don't matter the art.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Right.
That's it. Don't matter who did it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And there's some amazing artists here, really amazing artists, you know. And murals is a big thing here. So there's a lot of mural work on a lot of, all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of art right where you can see it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the fact that I like the fact that they're doing a lot of murals in Detroit. We got a car and I've been able to. And I said, yes, no building should be blank. I don't know what they're doing in Eastland, but they need to put color out there.
I know North End has got a lot of artists, a lot of artwork on the North End.
Oh yeah, the blackout walls.
Yeah, the blackout walls. They can really do it again, I think.
It's expanded. She didn't. I think she did a wall in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Somewhere, because I saw that on her page. I don't remember where she was in here, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that is amazing to me, to be able to mentally look at something that big and know okay, this color, then I got to blend it over here and stuff. You got to be tough to do murals.
Oh yeah.
To me, you got to be
Back in 2018, I went to visit a friend of mine. Her name is Angela L. Walker. She's an artist too. She's a mixed media artist. I went to visit them in New Mexico, and I was like, I'd like to move out here. And then I got out there, and it was nice, but you can have a car, and you to know there's nothing within walking distance. There's no anything there. So where they were up in the mountains too. It was beautiful. It was the best 9 days of my life. So
it depends on where you are. Like here, we're not that far from Central. Central is like downtown,
right?
So we're in one of the neighboring communities of Central, and so everything is in walking distance. There's a little more. There's there's definitely no food deserts in this area, in San Miguel, because there's always like either some little corner restaurant, little taco stands or little produce stands, or everything is in walking distance. From the house. And then like on Sundays, they set up the little farmers come into the empty parking lot by my house. So I can walk out the door, not even like 2 houses down. There's like a little farmer's market on Sunday morning. There's the Tianguis, which sells everything on Tuesdays and Sundays. And so you can get, produce and everything. So you don't have to worry about getting around, We don't have a car, but you can still use your Uber here. And they have a couple of different apps. Lyft doesn't do here, but there's an app called Didi that's similar, to Uber and Lyft, and you can use those too. They have taxis. They have the green taxis that are up and down every street all the time that you can just hail a taxi. There's taxis that you can call, if you can't find a taxi. So there's a bus system, that's Ty's favorite thing. He rides a bus because it's 8 pesos. To ride the bus.
40 cents. 40 cents.
Wow.
Ride the bus.
When the last time you got on the city bus for 40 cents?
And they come every 10, 15 minutes. It's not like that system. It's not like you have to be like in Detroit where you hope the bus is coming. I have stood on the corner going from the collective to my house, which is right down the street in the dead of winter, and stood on the corner for almost 2 hours waiting for a bus.
Yes. Wow. Somebody gonna think you working, you waiting on the bus.
I know.
Well, guys, you really, I want to come. I want to come check out Mexico.
$4 to get in the taxi wherever you go.
Yeah.
So
because we were spending $20. We were spending $40 a day taking RJ to school. Now we stay on Lake Point near Alter, and his school is right there in Indian Village.
It would from where we lived on Island View, and going from our house to the Harbor Town Market, which is not, which technically, you know, you walk it, you know, would cost anywhere from like $10 just to get to the Harbortown market. You know, I have not spent $10 on a taxi or Uber ever here, ever. You know, Ubers are usually running me about $2 to $3 for Uber, and that's going like across town.
Wow.
You know, so you know, because I keep looking, you know, the Uber charges always pop up on your bank statement, you know, and I was like, I'm loving this. I'm looking at Uber, $2.32.
Yeah.
Look, you're gonna have some change. Look, you have some change left.
I know. I was like,
and you can buy some,
go.
and you can buy some food.
Wow.
I mean, that's the nice thing about the cost.
Yeah.
You know, like
It takes
here,
the stress off of you.
Yeah, I can go to the market and get food for dinner for the night because you know the food is not chemical. So you can't put it in the refrigerator and leave. So you basically get things for a day or 2 days. And I mean literally $5, you know, you go get some fresh green beans and onions and carrots and you know the meats. Like I went and got some thinking euro, and I went and got some beef, and the beef cost me for like a bag of chopped ribs were like maybe $2, not even $2. And here it's a butcher right around the corner from me. So they, you know, they kill the cows in the morning, and then whatever, you know, they sell it during the day. So everything is fresh all the time. There's so much fresh veggies here, mangoes, strawberries, bananas. Everything is grown here. Cactus helps me with my diabetes. The cactus. Um, You can get everything: spirulina, cilantro, fresh guacamole, fresh avocado. It's like everything, and you can literally, you might get a bag of fruit for maybe $2, $3. Got fresh. So it definitely makes you feel better, you know. I know for me, fresh lime, there's plenty limes, you know, plenty limes. And then the street food is inexpensive. You can get tacos for like 40 cents on the street. The corn, the fresh corn that they chop up and put in the cup, you can get
Real
that
corn.
for like 50 cents. You know, so it does take a lot of stress off of you on that level.
Yeah.
Like, and you can create and not be so stressed out. I go get my paints. My paints here are like maybe $1. Some cases cheaper than that. The same paint I pay in the US is like $3 or $4. The same for medication. I found out when I ran out of medication we got here, I went and got it. And the pharmacist said to me 40 cents. I said, what?
What?
40 cents. The same medication in the States cost me $20.
Wow.
So the jack up on medical is ridiculous. They charging you out the yin yang for medical and medicine. It's like, why do we have to pay all? Well, I know why, because the few percentage of the wealthy is getting more wealthy.
Right.
And so we fallen into that. All of these other countries, they you know, they're about their and they're not trying to stress you out or kill you like that. You know, it's more healthy.
Right.
And the living is cheap. It's definitely cheaper than the States. You can't live like you live here. You can't live in America. I don't care where you are for the amount of money that you live. Or even Mexico City, which is higher.
you could live, say for instance, where we are, we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. And then we pay electric separate, and we pay gas when we need it, because they fill up your gas is for your stove and for your water heat. And
Right.
so basically you get your gas tank filled up when you run out of gas. So that varies depending on what your usage is. But between those expenses and just outside of that, and food and food, you could really live for under $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
No. So it depends on what your. I mean, we don't really spend a lot on food, because I'm getting used to not, because in the States you get used to stocking up on stuff. All this stuff in your cupboard, and you got all this stuff in your freezer, and you can't really do that here, because like I said, they don't use a lot of preservatives. And so your stuff is not made to have a long shelf life. And so, and then there's a lot of yeah, and we just found out yesterday that they you can't buy American meats here. They won't let them bring it into the country.
Because they know it's trash.
It's chemicals.
Because of the chemicals and stuff. They won't let it come in the country. And even when you go in the grocery store, like if there's something that has a lot of sugar and salt, because I was like, what are on all the packaging? There's these little black stop signs. It tells you what it's too much of in there. Because I was looking at it's like excess sodium or excess calories, excess sugar. So they warn you. So it's like, okay, this is not good for you. You eat it at your own risk. So it's like the stuff that you're not supposed to eat has stop signs actually printed on the packaging.
Wow.
What it is that's wrong, that's not good in this particular product.
Wow.
Because that was tripping me out first. I was like, what's with the stop signs on the packages? I don't know what's going on.
And the US don't care. They
Right.
care. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Ty, regarding your doctor. And so your doctor is does the regular and the holistic?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to know about the support holistically that you have, because like we have a lot of people who come on here and within the Elizabeths that are naturopathic and doctors, and I'm sure in your moving around, maybe Mama Razia Curtis and some other people that if you need anything, let us know and we'll hook you up with who we know here.
Yeah, because that's another big thing in Mexico. Is the holistic. Mexico is basically what you call in the States the natives, the Native Americans. So everything is ingrained into the herbs. Even the doctor himself, he's upstairs, but they're pharmacists downstairs. It's all in the same building. Nothing but herbs, from turmeric to garlic.
Yeah.
Cinnamon. It's nothing but herbs. And then outside of him, there's other people that sell like liquid cinnamon, good for diabetes. And other different type of herbs. They're really, really into that. It's like, they don't really play when it comes to herbal things. I find that to be really good. Like I say, since I've been and I feel a lot better, with the weight law, getting some even more. And then when you're walking up and down the hills, you're exercising hard, and you're exercising, so own it up, and my body feels a lot, and when my body feels a lot better, my mind feels a lot
Yeah.
I can create even more, you know, like I say, looking at combining with what's going on here and bringing, you know, what we do in the States here and combining that. But this is only one stop on the journey. You know, like I said, the next spot is Spain. I got people waiting on me in Spain to come. You know, I want to try, you know, I want to check out Ghana and, you know, just some other places. But I do like the diversity of being here where you can and you know, go to these other places and it's not killing your pocketbook like it would in the States.
Yeah.
And then the States has this other nonsense going on. Why are you going there? I'm minding my business. You let others go and you don't ask them why they going there. Why you want to ask me? And you know, they treat us like listen, I stand out in front of the house. I can't be out there for about 10 minutes. Everybody and their grandma waiting. Oh, they want to take pictures with me. I'm like, okay, I don't get treated like that in the States. In the States, they're trying to kill me. And so here they like, yo, the king. The king, and they mean that. Like they just be hola, you know, and hugging on me. I'm like, what is this love? I get a lot of love from you guys in the States. But I tell you, here it's like, you know, I'm not fearful of somebody knocking me in the head and, you know, all of that kind of food that I got to deal with. Tell them, since we've been here, we've had only 2 incidents where two couples got robbed. No shooting and killing. You know, you don't hear the violence, no sirens, none of that. So it's peaceful on your mind, you know. So you kind of relieve the stress. I know my blood pressure is down.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, they really, and you see the herbs everywhere. Everybody's selling herbs. There's nothing but herbs, turmeric, ginger. I haven't seen so much ginger. I'm like, I ain't seen this much ginger in a lifetime. It's everywhere. You know, we just said, you feeling bad, your stomach, ginger. It's so much. They even sell it like I get like a ginger concentrate. It's just fresh ginger and lemon juice. They concentrate it and they sell it just like that with nothing in it, and works really, really good.
That's
You
awesome.
know, the coffee is pretty good. I just connected with Jamaica, so I'm getting ready. It's coming in now. I'm gonna be selling Jamaican Blue Mountain, one of the best coffees in the world. You know, it's more things happening.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Or at 10 o'clock?
Father heaven. Yes. Already. Oh.
Let me slip this in real quick. Mama
guys.
Stephanie, Stephanie, you can wrap your knees with castor oil at night with an old t-shirt or flannel cloth and put some plastic around it so it won't mess up your sheets, because castor oil is the truth.
Okay.
So look it up, and then that can help too. All right, Mama. Sorry, thank you.
All right, thank you, dear.
Okay, Queen,
Thank
you
you,
can
dear.
close us out.
Good seeing you guys.
Oh, it's so good to have you on.
Good to
Really
see you.
appreciate it. And yes, I'm gonna work on getting my passport. So
Yeah, get your passport, because you know
yes.
you need to be able to jet when you get a jet. You never...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy. Okay, Queen.
Oh, Mama Head.
No, I want this Mama Evelyn Day. Come on now.
Oh, well, we usually end our sessions with hugging ourselves, giving ourselves a big hug.
I give yourself a hug, man. Give
I give myself a hug every day.
I know, but this is our goodbye. This is
And
our
hug you from here in our little boxes. We're gonna hug you.
And
all right, y'all.
Yes.
the whole world.
Thank you so much for
Sending
being
love.
Yeah.
And
Mwah.
sprinkle goodness all over everything.
as they do already. Everybody, have a great day.
You
Mythical,
too.
Y'all too.
fun.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
Awesome.
All right,
We moving
y'all.
to Mexico. We moving to Mexico.
We're
Yeah.
moving to Mexico.
Pack your bags. Get your passport. Come on. Come on.
Arriba, arriba. Ándale, ándale.
Yeah.
Peace out.